It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B-Ron. Alongside me for this fabulous Friday episode is my man, Big Bob. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning, B-Ron. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. I'm so glad to have you here with me for this Friday episode of SimWorld Today. Let's go ahead. Let's jump
Absolutely.
right into it. Talking about your favorite player, LeBron James.
Oh, okay,
LeBron
that's great.
James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
So look, there's a lot of talk about LeBron getting traded from the
Yeah,
Lakers, possibly.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I haven't been I don't put much credence into this, but so I want to ask you a question on a scale of 1 to 10. How likely do you think that trade actually is? With
oh
with
man,
one being the lowest, 10 being the highest.
a 1 out of 10. If I had to go based 1 out of 10, oh man, this I'm gonna go with a 7. I feel
Okay.
like it's still a little bit too high because I do want to go with like a 5 or a 6. I'm gonna go with a 7 though. I mean, LeBron's only going to put up with so much for so long. Clearly, LeGM has not been doing a great job there with the Lakers. He did bring them a title. You can't sneeze at that. He has
Yeah.
a title
Yeah.
there. He did what he went to do. But this was a team that when he got there and they went for Anthony Davis, as I said yesterday in not Harden the Paint, yesterday in SimWorld Today, I believe it was. Maybe it was Harden the Paint. I don't know. All the days run together.
Yeah.
As I said, when they traded for Anthony Davis, this was supposed to be a new Lakers dynasty. They were supposed to win multiple titles, back-to-back titles, and it never happened. They won the one in the bubble that people want to not count because of the bubble. I don't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. We're not doing that.
As much as I want to talk crap about
We're
LeBron
not
James,
doing that, bro.
I'm not going to discredit a title because it was in the bubble. If
Okay.
anything, that made it more even because you didn't have home court advantage.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do think there is a possibility that he can force himself out of LA. And I think there are a handful of teams that could potentially make a run for him. But let me ask you before I dive into those, what do you think? What's the likelihood on your side of things, B-Ron, that LeBron
I
gets traded?
I'm a little less optimistic about it. I'm gonna put it at like a 4, just
Okay.
because I feel like one, it's LeBron James, and two, I feel like the amount you have to give up for a player of his caliber, if you're a team who wants to get LeBron, if you're gonna trade for LeBron, you have to give up a lot to get him, even despite his age. By his age, he can still play at an elite level. So I feel like you're gonna have to give up a lot to get him, and I don't think it's worth it to do that. Uh, and at that point too, who has the ability to take on his contract, and who wants to take on all the things that come with all of that too. So a lot of other things come into play when you're talking about getting a player of LeBron James's caliber. So that's why I'm a
Yeah,
little less likely to say like go for it.
yeah. I mean, because I think 5 to me, 5 isn't middle of the road. 5 is still really low.
Hmm.
I if it was the middle of the road, I would go with 5 because I would say I'm not going to be shocked if he doesn't get traded. I'm not going to be shocked if he gets traded. It's just I think it could happen, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to be shocked. But you're
Yeah.
right. For someone of his age, uh, you're going to be giving up some first round picks. You're going to be giving up some good talent for your future. But what you could potentially also be doing is well, no, because disregard what I was thinking in my head. You guys don't have to. You guys don't have to hear about that. But if it is a team that thinks that they can win this season and they want to win a title this season, there
Hmm.
are some teams that I think could make that trade and give up some of that draft capital and maybe some star-ish, not superstar level players, but maybe a star player or two.
Yeah. Who
Um,
would those
I
teams
think
be?
I think that for me, when I think about the teams that could use him where he may put them to the top of the pack, I would go with the Heat. I would go with the Suns. I would go with there's another team I don't remember who I was going to say, I'll be honest, but the fourth team, I think the 76ers could make a run for him. I think those are 3 of the 4 teams. Again, fourth team slipped and for whatever reason slipped out of my head. But those are teams that I think could really make a run for him if they think that they can win this season.
Yeah, if
The
you
problem.
do, go ahead. Sorry,
Go
go ahead, Bob.
ahead. You go. No, you go ahead,
Okay,
LeBron.
if you do trade LeBron, I think you get him out of the conference. Out of the conference. Give him, you don't. If you're the Lakers, you don't want to see him in the playoffs. Get him out of the conference.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
So he goes to the East and he goes somewhere like the Sixers, the Heat, Magic. Maybe I'm looking at teams that are kind of on the bubble, close to playoff contention. I know the Pacers just made a big trade recently, so I think they're out on that. Maybe even return to the Cavs. I don't know, but look, we'll see how
You never know. I think
it's
he.
possible.
I think he can end. I think he can end his career in Cleveland. His career in Cleveland for sure. I don't see the Sixers giving up what we would think they would need to give up to get him. I can see them getting rid of Harris. They're not getting rid of Maxey. They're obviously not getting rid of Embiid. So they're the dark horse in my opinion of the teams that I picked.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, both in the NBA, in the SWBA, and in Smoke Prep. We had a dark horse yesterday, actually lose yesterday. Uh, APAC faced the OGs yesterday, and they played they played a good enough game, but it wasn't good enough at the end of the day because OG still ended up losing that game. So,
Absolutely.
and here's Cooper Flag doing typical Cooper Flag things. Absolute toaster over Leonardo Fields and Jay Laster hitting a three of his own there. But Apex has some highlights too. The Leonardo Fields alley-oop reverse catch, and then the Oliver West shot there in the corner. Oliver West and the APAC kids pulled off the win over the OGs yesterday. 71-65.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is I'm going to give APAC their flowers. I'm a little bit higher on APAC than most, but I feel like I have a soft spot for them from last season and their little Cinderella run. But they have a lot. They have a ton of talent. But it's something about international teams that I just cannot subscribe to them at all. I cannot subscribe to an international team. But they have very good players that on any given night, I think they can beat anybody. And they beat the Originators yesterday afternoon.
They did, yeah. And I'm sorry, but speaking of that, just want to kind of dive into the main point here. Are there concerns for the OGs coming out of this game? And I know I know we've used this a lot, but I want to use it in a different context here because we've seen with the OGs in particular that when you slow down Cooper Flag, or when you let Cooper Flag kind of do what he does, but let no one else kind of get going, that's been the key to really beating this team. And when I say concerns, I don't mean concern in the traditional sense, well, how we've been using it before, but it's more so from a perspective of have teams figured them out, and is that a concern that teams are starting to figure it out?
I would not. I would say no, because at the end of the day, when Cooper Flag's on the court, I don't care what you do to him, he's going to give you the chance to win. We are acting like, yes, it was an upset. It was absolutely an upset that APAC beat the Originators. But it was only a 6-point loss. A 6-point loss isn't that big. We're acting like it was a complete blowout. Cooper Flag kept them in the game, and as long as Cooper Flag is on the court, he's going to give them the opportunity. I don't want to downplay APAC's win at all, but I can tell you half the teams in this league, if they only had to play 7 players, if the Originators only had to play their starting 5 and Christ Coates and Justin McGavin, I don't know if they would lose. But there's a ton of teams in this league that if they only had 7 players, good night.
Fair enough. Definitely understand that. We'll look from one upset to maybe another one because the Yacht Club and Gulf Coast Lockdown played in the game of the week last night, and boy, that was a big old no-show for Lockdown in that one. It didn't look really great for them. There's some great defense from the Yacht Club, and Garrett Hart the other way throwing it down. They got out to a huge run there to begin the game, and it wasn't good. And that guy right there, Darius McBride, we'll get to him in a minute, but and there he is again, just continuing to hit. They had a at one point it was like you see here 13-1 lead, and Yacht Club just you know did look good. They only scored 3 points in that first quarter, and Carson Cutbirth struggled really the all game, and that's a tough to do it over there, over the defense there. Really great defense on the block shot, and then here you see in the post, Tyshawn is home there, getting things going, and Kai Killen's trying to do his part to make it all work and make it competitive here in the second quarter. But
so what I'm going to need you to go do, B-Ron, is I'm going to need you to go back to a comment that you said, and I'm going to need you to say it with your chest a little bit. The defense showed up for the Yacht Club. The defense showed up. 3 points in the first quarter, and then in the second half, they only gave up 30 total points. Kai Killens did everything that he could do to keep to keep Gulf Coast in this game. They were never in this game. They had, what was it, a 31 point loss, I believe it was, if I did math correctly. He scored 32 points. Outside of that, the next highest scorer on that team, Ezekiel Bull, he had himself 7 points. But that Carson Cutbirth line, that 3 for 21, 3 for 21. Oh, 3 for 21?
Yes. Yes, 3 for 21. Not good. Not good. And Carson Cutbirth, like I said, a disaster game.
I love me some Carson Cutbirth. I think he is a top 3 facilitator in this league. But man, I don't want to jump the gun or play Monday morning quarterback or anything like that. But let's stick to facilitating, because Kai Killens, he had himself 32 points. Man, he could have had 60 points and they would have been in this game. But yeah, let's give a shout out there to Darius McBride with his 22 points, his 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He had himself a maestro dirty with 1 steal and 1 block too. Had himself that dirty. But yeah, I mean, the Yacht Club just showed up, and they've got a real crowded room now. I'm going to be interested to see what they do moving forward with those additions of King and Owens as well. But man, that was a defensive showing for the Yacht Club, and if they can keep.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Darius McBride though, because that kid showed off last night and came out of nowhere. He really did. It came out of absolutely nowhere last night. Like you said, he had a big game, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And you look at all that too, comparing it to what he was doing previously coming into the game. He really shattered his performances across the board. Coming into the game, he's only averaging 4.4 points a game, one rebound, maybe an assist in a game. So this came out of nowhere for him. What does this kind of performance mean for him and for the team going forward, Bob?
I mean, I'm not going to jump the gun, because Darius McBride that showed up last night is not the Darius McBride that we have seen consistently. So if he can keep that up, it is great for the Yacht Club. But I don't think, and again, he had himself a game. This is the best game of his young career by far, nowhere close. Let's not sit back on Josiah Cook's game. I just want to throw it out that he had 7 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. He just needed 3 more points. Darius McBride, you ruined your teammate's triple-double by taking too many shots. So I need you to take that back seat again so we can see some more triple-doubles out from Josiah Cook. All right? But no, I'm not going to great game Darius McBride.
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit more consistency before I get super excited about what he did last night.
I get that. I definitely understand that. Great production, though, all the way through from McBride. Hopefully he can keep it up, though. But that's going to do it for our show for the week. Thank you all very, very much for watching and listening. As always, we appreciate the support. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff to be notified when all of our videos and all our streams, all our shows here on SimWorld TV go live for you. And until next time, you guys, remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game.
Be the game.
We'll see ya on Monday.
Woo!